Wouldn't it be great if you could gaze into a crystal ball and find out if someone is your soulmate or not? Well, on today's case, Mrs. Harvey says she has checked her crystal ball, her tarot cards, and the stars, and they are all telling her the same thing, to divorce her husband. She says after numerous infidelities and countless lies, her future as a single woman looks bright and she is ready to step into it today. Mr. Harvey says that he loves his wife and can't understand why she would allow a few mistakes and her belief in astrology to bring him to divorce court on the day of their 8th wedding anniversary. Is there reconciliation in the cards? Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Harvey versus Harvey.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Harvey, Mr. Harvey. Mrs. Harvey, you are here today to give your husband an ultimatum. Tell the truth or get served with divorce papers. You say your husband is a lying cheater with anger issues who doesn't have an honest bone in his body. You want the truth regarding his infidelity or you're done.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Harvey, you are here today to tell your wife for the final time that you are not a cheater. You say her cheating accusations are all in her head and she has no concrete proof. You believe your wife has checked out of this marriage, but you still have hopes of making it work and saving your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the first thing I noticed was in looking at your court file, today is your actual wedding anniversary. Am I right, Ms.
Yes,
Harvey?
Your Honor, it's our anniversary.
So this is really ironic to be together for 10 years, married for 8 years, and be on divorce court
Yes, Your Honor.
on your anniversary. So it must be
sad.
pretty serious. Why are we in court today, ma'am?
Well, Your Honor, my husband's very controlling. He controls who I talk to, when I work, what I'm allowed to do. And the whole time he's being a sneaky liar and a cheater. And
She's lying, Your Honor.
I'm done. I'm ready to sign divorce papers. I'm done.
So you're saying what's good for the goose is going to be good for the gander. It's time for you to move on.
Yes.
Mr. Harvey, you heard what your wife said. What do you say?
She's wrong. First of all, we have one car.
You're a liar.
Both of us work.
You're a liar.
We have to separate the time of work with the car. So if I work morning time, she needs to work the evening times.
So I can't imagine that that's what's brought us in here. So I tell you what we're going to do. Mr. and Mrs. Harvey, let's look at the evidence.
Okay.
All right? Mrs. Harvey, you say that everything was okay in the beginning
Yes.
when y'all first got together. But after a while, you started to suspect he was cheating. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Yes, Your Honor. So we share a phone, and even when we had separate phones, we still had the same account, like the Google account.
Yep.
And
Family plan.
yes, kind of like that. So one day I decided to ping him to see where he was at. He was supposed to be at work, and it pings off of in Thomasville, Georgia, 20 miles from his job.
Okay.
And when he gets home and I ask him about it, he's never been there. That's not true.
I've never been to Thomasville.
Never been to Thomasville. It shows exactly what he did, what time he did it, and it shows the apartment complex that he was in. It even showed him going to work that morning and then leaving work and going to Thomasville.
So in other words...
And it showed every single step you did that day.
So in other words, he admits to every other part of what the tracking said except the part of him going to Thomasville.
Yeah, he didn't do that. Google Maps is lying on him.
Yeah. And this is also the person that pinged me at an address, and when you turned the picture around on what she pinged, it was the front building of my
I submitted
job.
evidence.
Okay, the evidence, let's look at it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it clearly does say in Thomasville, Georgia, and the location history is on, so it was following up where you started to where you ended up. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Harvey, what were you doing in Thomasville?
I was never in Thomasville. I was at work all day long. I brought home a 40-hour check that week.
So you're saying that this is a malfunction and a misunderstanding?
It's got to be.
Now, I cannot imagine that we are in divorce court on your anniversary just on this. No. There must be something else. What else you got?
Okay, so I was using his phone to text my son, which I normally do. It's fine. When I picked up his phone to text my son, there was a slot where you can search, because I was searching his name.
Yep.
And when I pushed search, there was images, videos, places, websites, that you can search.
It's called the history.
There you go. I pushed images, and this picture shows up of a screenshot of him having a conversation with a woman. Hi, you're cute. Can I get your phone number? And then I just text you. But he doesn't know nothing about that either. I have evidence of that too, Your Honor.
She says conversation, but it was just her saying,
Nope,
"Hi,
it was
you're
a conversation between him and another woman. I have proof of it. I have
Okay,
evidence.
let's go to the videotape.
Yeah. Show me
This
where,
is the,
show me
this is
where I
the,
talked
the
to
only
him.
way it would have been shown is if it was in his text messages sent or received by him. That's the only way it could
Okay.
have been in there.
So here's my question. The blue is clear that somebody wrote, I think you're cute and I want to get to know you.
That was somebody writing to him. His
So
response
what was
is-
the response to it? It looks like somebody sent back.
He sent his phone number, yes.
And
Was it my phone number?
It was off by 1 digit, but I found this in the text messages images. That's the only way it could have got there is if he was sent it or received it through a text message. That's the only way.
Why would I send a girl my wrong number if I want her to get
How
through
did that,
me?
what did this come, when did this come, how did
well,
this
wait a
come
minute.
about then?
I'm gonna actually answer that. Autocorrect mess up all the time. If it's only off by 1 digit, it usually means, and I mean 1 digit out of all those digits.
And the 9 and 0 beside each other.
But there again, is there a correction of the phone number?
It was found in
if
your
I
text
did- If I
messages
didn't
images.
correct it, then how could she even get a
Okay,
hold
so
of
we're
me?
done.
I don't even know.
You're never gonna give me any
That's
answers.
fine.
You're a liar.
That's fine.
So
You're a liar.
Mr. Harvey, though, for real, if you want to save your marriage, you probably need
Be
to
honest.
at least be honest.
I am. I've never cheated on her. I never will. And she's so delusional that she's steadily going through the phone, going
Looking
through
for
it, going
things.
through
Okay,
it.
so
Look,
I also
look,
got one
look.
more-
One
She'll
more-
finally see something and she runs it through her head that I've done everything.
Okay, so Mr. Harvey, here's my question. Why would you have a screenshot, which is a photo?
I didn't.
That's
all
not where I
her
found it?
doing.
He's lying.
Because
You.
she's always
He's lying
going
to
through
you.
the phone screenshot and everything. That's all her doing.
I went through our history of our Google history.
Yeah, you're Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Because you're
yep,
looking.
Yep, and when I found live porn with other women,
She watches porn. She could have made some of that stuff pop up when
you
she's
know
watching.
what's going on. You know you did it.
If I'm gonna pay
Him
my
soda's only-
hard-working money, I'm gonna go out on the street and get the real thing for my money.
What else has made you say he was cheating?
Okay, so I went through our history of our Google history.
Yeah,
and
you're Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Because you're
yep,
looking.
Yep, and when I found live cam soda, live porn with other women, and that's why he wanted me working the night shift while he worked the day shift, so at night he can have sex with these women online. And he's paying for it, and I have proof of that also.
Okay, she says she works nights. She's
That
home
was-
by 10:30.
No, I'm talking about when I worked at Waffle House overnight. This is when I found it.
So wait a minute now. Girl, you work at Waffle House and you didn't bring me nothing.
I used to work at Waffle House, don't anymore.
Lord. Okay, so
But
So again, Mr. Harvey, clearly, if this is in your phone, you have been going to the live porn sites.
No.
Yes,
He
sir?
has been Pornhub Live and another one,
yeah,
yes.
Pornhub Live is free. She watches porn. She could have made some of that stuff pop up when
You
she's
know
watching
what's going on.
porn.
You know you did it. You know
Okay,
you did
so
it. You're a
here's
liar.
my question. First of all,
I would not plant evidence and then say that he did it just so I
But
can pop in a
Mrs.
marriage.
Harvey,
That's
Mrs. Harvey, calm down. Calm down, Mrs. Harvey. Mr. Harvey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with watching porn if that's what you want to do.
Correct.
So here's
Right.
the question.
I would not pay for porn. If I'm gonna pay
Cam
my
soda's the only-
hard-working money, I'm gonna go out on the street and get the real thing for my money. We've always had the same bank account. Her check goes into the bank account, my check.
We haven't
goes in
always.
that
He
same
separated our bank
account.
accounts. He did. He
So,
took his check out of there.
If I spent my money on the bank on porn,
Oh,
she would have
no,
seen it on the
there's
bank
something called
account. Was
which
spent on
which
that.
will allow you to buy porn and then it'll show up on your bank statement as something different. Yes, I know. Yes.
How do you know all that?
Because
don't
I
know
did my
nothing about
research
it.
when I found out you were on
But
Cam
you
Soda.
do it yourself.
Okay, so
You're the one
Mr.
going
Harvey,
it
it
on. You
sounds
wanna
like, I
turn it
beg your
on
pardon.
You
All right,
are.
I'm sorry.
I
One at a
beg your
time.
pardon.
One at a time, please.
It sounds like Mrs. Harvey came to court armed and ready for bear. Like she wanted to say to you that I've been doing the research necessary to tell you that you have not been honest. I'm not suggesting that you're cheating, but something's going on.
It could be something she's done when she's watched porn.
So are you
It's
suggesting-
email,
Accuse
it's
you of
junk
doing it.
mail that comes up. It could have been done when she watched porn.
So I wanna
It don't- just cause it's
I was
on there
at
don't
work,
prove that I've
Wayne.
done it.
You know you did it. You're a liar.
I just want to make sure that we're all clear. Mr. Harvey, are you saying that you have not gone on to these porn sites
That is
seeking
correct. I am saying
live
that.
cam girl porn sex?
I am saying that. I've
Yes, sir.
never done live cam porn sex.
Okay, and are you saying that you don't pay for porn?
I don't
So
pay
you
for
have not
porn.
been diverting money from your family
I do not.
for those things?
No, ma'am.
Okay. This is what Mr. Harvey is saying, and Mrs. Harvey, you're going to either have to believe him or not. And
I don't believe him because he's saying I did it, and I know I didn't do it. Him and I both took care of my mother. She had dementia,
Oh.
and she has recently passed. When he left the last time, he had the rent money.
y'all were separated?
Yeah, we were separated. He took a picture of us in my mom's ashes with the money.
It was nothing disrespectful
even-
about it at all. It was
Yes, it
strictly
was.
to make sure she got her money and nobody else got
It was-
her money. But
Seriously,
it
Mr.
was-
Harvey, I need you to hear me for real.
Yes, ma'am.
It felt like a desecration.
If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
There is something that has ticked you off to the point
Her
where you
tarot
said,
card. Her
Being
tarot
at
cards
Thomasville,
tell
you're a
her
liar because he
everything.
knows he was in Thomasville. It showed every single step that he took.
let's focus. Let's focus for a minute. Mr. Harvey just suggested that something that had to do with some tarot cards.
Yeah,
What
my
do you-
mother
Give me just a minute.
She just recently, say January, February, started looking at tarot cards, and now all of a sudden she's this great psychic that knows everything. It tells her I'm not her soulmate, I'm cheating, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, and
That's
that.
not true. That's
Mrs. Harvey, according to Mr. Harvey, things changed in the last 3 months because you've been focused on some outside influences. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Yes, ma'am. Recently, him and I both took care of my mother. She had dementia,
Oh.
and she has recently passed. Okay?
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank-
I lost my mother also. It's a very
It's
tough
very, very
thing.
hard for me to talk about, but I'm here to pour my heart out to you because also at the same time, my 3 children grew up and moved out of the house.
Uh-oh.
So it's just me by myself all the time because he doesn't want me to work the same shift as him. And so, yeah, I connected with the tarot cards. My neighbor introduced me to them, and I connected with them.
Mrs. Harvey, tell me, what have you found in the tarot cards?
I have connected with the tarot cards, and they are pretty accurate. Every time I do a reading for myself or for other people, and it's pretty accurate. And every time I do one for myself, when he was there, it's not doing it now, but when he was there at the house, the stalemate card would show up quite often. Stalemate's the opposite of the soulmate.
So here's my question. You lost your mom recently. It doesn't sound like you have had time to properly grieve that loss.
My mom was my world.
You definitely have not had time to grieve that loss.
It's been a year, and I took care of her mama probably more than she did a lot of the time.
You're a liar. He's such a liar. I don't know why he's lying.
But I don't want to talk about that because that is her mom, and I know it's sensitive.
Well,
I don't want to do that to her.
When he left the last time, he had the rent money, okay? He brings it back to me. I'm at the neighbor's house because I don't want to see him. I tell him just to leave the money at the house.
y'all were separated?
Yeah, we were separated. He was bringing the money back so I could pay rent. I wouldn't come because I wouldn't come to the house and get it from him. He put the money in my mom's ashes and then told me that my mom had something to say to me that I needed to come talk to her. And I'm like, what is he talking about? That's strange. So my neighbor texted me and said, Wayne just said something really weird to me. Wayne just told me that your mom has your money. And that's when it dawned on me that he put the money in.
Because she had people in and out of her house
Listen, I
all the
wouldn't go
time.
in those ashes, and he
Yeah.
knew I wouldn't go in those ashes. I wasn't even there when my neighbor got the money out. When she got the money out, she found a picture of him and I in there too. He took a picture of us in my mom's ashes with the money. That to me sounded like it was a threat. That's how I took
What do
it.
you mean a threat? It was a reminder of what we used
With my
to be.
mom's ashes? That's morbid.
I raised
That's
her.
morbid.
I took care of your mama.
So why would you disrespect her by putting stuff in her ashes?
Why don't you
That's
tell them everything I
that's
did for your mama the last
disrespectful.
year of her life?
Wait a minute, I'm still trying to figure this out. You decided to put a note and a check inside the
cash
urn?
and a picture. Yep.
Look, it was nothing disrespectful
even-
about it at all. It was
Yes, it
strictly
was.
to make sure she got her money and nobody else got her money.
Mr. Harvey was disrespectful. I mean, that is her mother's grave for all practical purposes.
I understand that, and
No.
I
I mean,
wouldn't have done it, but
seriously, Mr.
in-
Harvey, I need you to hear me for real.
Yes, ma'am.
For real, I need you to hear me. It felt like a desecration. because you know you were wrong,
I
and
shouldn't
you've
have done it.
already
I
apologized.
Yes.
Then that is what
I'm
you
not
need to
gonna
do.
win. I'm not
and
trying
see,
to
and
win
that's
that.
exactly right. See, that's a mature response, is to turn to your wife and say, I'm sorry, and I should not have done it, which I just heard you say. And it was not intended to insult you.
And I told her from the beginning when she got mad about it, I was sorry. I didn't mean it to be that way. It was just to make sure you got your money. I told her that from the beginning.
Mrs. Harvey, you need some time for yourself. You need some time to grieve for your mom's loss, but also your empty nest syndrome. Because
Yes.
I really believe very strongly that you might be going through a little bit of a depression.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I don't know what Mr. Harvey has done, but you haven't proven that he's a cheater. I don't know him well enough to know if he's a liar. But I can tell you that I have just gotten to know a little bit about you. You need some time for yourself. You need to not rely upon the tarot cards. You need to rely upon yourself again. You need to get back to being the person that feels confident about themselves. You're going to miss your children not being in the house. You're going to miss the loving, wonderful relationship with you had your mom, but you're going to get those to become memories at some point. But you might need some help getting there. I'd love to offer you some assistance for yourself, but I don't hear love.
I have the divorce papers.
Then guess what? I'm going to say this to you. You're entitled to be happy. You hand those papers over to Robert. He will hand them to me. I will look at them. I will serve them for you.
Yes,
Robert,
ma'am.
please get those papers, because I hate to, I don't do this often, because I literally am such a romantic at heart. My heart always wants to try to find a solution, but there is nothing, and I do mean nothing, that is between you all that makes me feel good about relationships. I can't make anybody sign this. These are in order for the state of Georgia. Robert? Mrs. Harvey, would you like the papers served? Please serve the papers.
Sure.
Is this what you really want?
Yes.
Mr. Harvey,
You know I'm done. I'm walking away after this. You won't never see me again. Before I sign
We
this.
can't do it. We can't
Okay.
agree on anything.
Okay, where do I sign?
Page 5.
I'm upset because I didn't get married to get a divorce.
I didn't get married to get divorced either. I've never cheated on you. I never would. You're just wrong. You're just wrong.
Mr. Harvey, I'm going to ask Mr. Hernandez to return the papers to Mrs. Harvey. Mrs. Harvey, you're going to have to go file those papers because they are now signed.
Okay.
That's on you. Think really long and hard about what you're doing. The divorce has started. The defendant really did not want a divorce.
No, he didn't. And I don't think he cheated. I mean,
Neither do I. I don't think he was cheating.
Yeah, there was no evidence of that. I mean, she's just grieving. She's very unhappy. She's going through a lot. So
And she's very depressed, but
Right.
she will not take a minute and just breathe. Sometimes you just need to step back
Right.
and breathe through it.
Absolutely.
But you listen, you can only show the water to the horse. I can't
Listen.
make him drink.
Right, exactly. They signed the papers, but who knows?
Let's see if she follows through.
Exactly.